context. It's usually characterized as being something entirely novel, technology-based, and causing positive impact on the world. But innovation is a much broader concept than that, and can come in many different forms. So, what exactly is innovation? The term innovation was popularized in the late 19th century by French sociologist Gabriel Tarde as novelty, but with no explicit definition. Victor Thomson in 1965 defined innovation as the generation, acceptance, and implementation of new ideas, processes, products, or services. In simple words, innovation is concerned with the creation and pursuit of new ideas, but new ideas don't have to come from nowhere. Many innovations are actually imitations of nature. Biomimicry has led to some of the world's greatest technological innovations, from Velcro tape based on burr fruits to bullet trains modeled after the kingfisher beak. Replication has always been a part of innovation. Technological developments like the internet, e-commerce, and computers have shaped the discussion around innovation and in a way dominated it. But the scope of innovation goes beyond tech-based products or services. It can also come in the form of an ideology. The ideology that brought freedom to an entire nation and led to its independence was ahimsa, which simply means non-violence in Sanskrit. Mahatma Gandhi used the principle of ahimsa to inspire millions of people across the nation to rebel against the British, which ultimately won India its freedom. Ahimsa was a radically different way to achieve large-scale political and social change. Innovation can therefore also be a way of thinking, or a way of doing things differently while still achieving your goals. One of the many reasons that innovation is widely encouraged and sought after is that it's believed to bring positive change. But sometimes, innovation has unintended consequences. Recent developments in automation, for example, have caused massive disruption in the labor market. And even seemingly harmless services like Airbnb have had a negative impact on the affordability of housing for millions of people. This highlights the fact that even well-intentioned innovations don't necessarily always lead to entirely positive results. Innovation is a broad concept that extends beyond its commonly understood definition and scope. However, some things are constant. Innovation requires you to think and perceive things differently from others. Being more innovative starts with a creative mindset. Harvard professor Teresa Amabile developed a framework that implies that creativity arises through the merging of knowledge, critical thinking, and motivation. With these basic ingredients, it doesn't matter if the context is business, technology, or society. If the idea is wholly new, or even if the result is ultimately positive, innovation can exist in many different forms. Let's recap. Innovation does not always have to be completely novel. Technology based on biomimicry is also innovation. Innovation does not always have to be product or service-based. It can also be an ideology, like that of ahimsa that helped India win its freedom. Innovation can sometimes have unintended negative consequences, like the loss of jobs due to AI and Airbnb affecting affordability of housing for millions of people.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video.
Welcome back to Driving Narrative of the Car. This section of the former Commissioner of Education in Lagos State, Mrs. Fistre. She'll be with us briefly, and I think she's trying to connect to the new connection we sent to her. Just bear with us briefly. Thank you so much. Before we move forward, just can we have some laugh?
Introducing social banking from GT Bank. Anywhere, anytime, any device.
So, I understand your name is Frank Donga. Is that correct?
Donga.
Okay, Mr. Frank. You're here for a visa application. Is that correct?
No, ma, it's visa. I've already done the application.
That's what I said. A visa application.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma, the visa. I need visa. I apply online. I've done the application online.
How long do you intend to stay, Mr. Donga?
As soon as we are finished, I go. They say it can't take long.
No. How long do you intend to stay in my country, Mr. Donga?
Okay, ma. I can't stay long. I have something doing. You understand? Soonest. Once I come back, I have a lot of things doing.
Can you give us a time estimation, Mr. Donga?
Ma,
Can you give us a length of time for which you'll be away, Mr. Donga?
no, I can't be away, ma. As soon as, once I finish everything, I return.
Can you convince me that you'll return?
I can convince you, ma. I can convince you.
Why would you return, Mr. Donga?
Ma, you know this place is not my place. Then anybody that is like market, you go to the market, you have to come back. You go, then you come back. So that's the thing. That's the plan. That's the plan. It's already there.
Okay, what do you do for a living, Mr. Donga?
You say,
What type of work do you do?
I'm a professional, ma. I'm a professional. And somebody that is a professional now. Any work.
Why would you like to visit my country?
Yes, ma'am. It's like, since when I'm small, I've always have it in mind that abroad is a place that anybody who's a professional, anybody once you get to a professional level, you go to abroad. By the time you come back, your this thing is not ordinary again. So that's the thing. Because by the time, even as you understand,
Stay seated, Mr.
no, ma'am,
Donga.
because I want to show you. As I was growing up, I have it in mind that when the time I travel to abroad, then as a professional, I come back. That's it, ma'am.
Tell me why you'd like to visit my country, Mr. Donga.
Because if you have, America is a place that any professional, he has to kneel down and pray. That once you go to abroad, America, you come back, your distance is no longer the same. I visit all the important area. Martin Luther King, Washington DC, all these people. Because you have to know them.
Mr. Donga,
Yes, ma'am.
we give out British visas here, Mr. Donga. This is the British Embassy.
You can help me. You can give me that one too, ma'am. Because British, I can go. Then I'll come back to you. You can give me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Donga.
Thank you, ma'am. Should I collect it now?
You can go down, Mr. Donga.
I should wait outside. Ma'am, you say I should wait.
Oh, so very sorry. So very sorry. I was trying to connect.
Baby landlord, come. What's that in your hand? Bring it. This is bitter leaf now. Vegetable of elders.
The what?
What of that one? Is that not scent leaf? Bring it.
Wait a second.
I just wasting vegetable. Hey, you know it for Euro. You know it for Lata. This one now, I use it to prepare for lockdown.
What?
You don't know. This one already prepared this one now. You put locust beans. You put onion. Confuse it with crayfish. When you say pepper, you say presence. You pour 2 spoons of pepper. You pour the whole thing. You put dry fish. You put sour and agudo. Face my face you. Catfish head. Everybody balance together. Add momo. You carry goat meat. The jollo part of the leg. Soup done. And for lockdown. It's just that I don't have pepper. I don't have fish.
Wow, welcome back, ma.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma.
Please, I don't have much time again, and much
Yes,
time.
ma.
So I'll do this in about 10 minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay, ma, you can continue, ma.
Okay. Are you letting me in now?
Yes, ma.
Okay.
You can continue, ma. You are here, ma.
Okay, I can't see anybody. Okay. So
Yeah,
good
people are watching
morning.
on YouTube.
Oh, I see. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's so great to be in your midst to talk about such an important topic. The topic I was given was disrupting leading, making teaching and learning work for a dynamic generation. So the key words there for me are leading and dynamic generation. So, and disrupting, of course, because what you want to do is to challenge the status quo, to shake things up for the better in education. That means that we are going to have to ask questions. We are going to question the traditional methods, the hidebound positions of people who don't want to change, and we are going to have to seek innovative approaches to whatever we are going to do. So, and by redefining education, we need to have a system that will empower the youth of this great continent. So people tell me that it's assumed that, of course, that almost 75% of the population of Nigeria can be classified as youth. Such an important, such a large, such a consequential proportion of the population. We must therefore support them to be able to take leadership. I think it's time we all older people sat back and handed over the baton. And this means, but to do that, we must disrupt education. And I urge everybody listening to me to be part of the disruption, because what we are having now cannot support leading and learning deep into the 21st century. We can't say 21st century anymore. We are deep into it, but we are approaching the second half of it. And so, how do we disrupt? How are we leading? Is our educational system supporting the reality of what our youth are going to face? And we know what you are going to face. The future is going to be totally different. When you talk about things like, and it's not, I've been reading a book that talks about the disruption that AI, artificial intelligence, is causing. And one of the reasons why it's causing so much disruption is mainly because it is at the nexus, it is at the confluence of two very, very major influences. Let me say, first of all, there's the infotech, that is IT revolution itself, the revolution in technology. And then the other part of it is the revolution in biotechnology, where people are able to read your mood, read your thoughts, your emotions. But the research that has gone into what the brain is actually capable of doing, research has been so great now that people can now, through the power of technology, detect your moods. And the great thing about AI, again, is that so therefore they've been able to develop solutions called AI that, like I said, is at the nexus of the IT revolution and the biotech revolution, so that things have totally changed about the way we do everything. It's a major disruptor, and AI is so powerful because it is connected, because of its connectability, and because of its upgradable, the fact that it's upgradable. Can you imagine that if you go to a doctor now, you see one doctor, he makes a diagnosis. If you're not happy, you go and see a second one. If we deploy the power of artificial intelligence, the diagnosis will be made by thousands of doctors, thousands of systems that are talking to each other, checking your vitals and making a diagnosis. Thousands of them. So they are connected and they're upgradable. After a while, if they need to add more information, and their information is continuous, whereas a live doctor will have to read, will have to go for conferences and so on. So we can see that it's a major disruptor. It's going to disrupt lives. It's going to disrupt the workplace. It's going to disrupt families. It's going to disrupt countries. Maybe countries will not exist the way we know them as they are today. It's certainly going to disrupt education. Maybe people will have to just teach differently. What I believe about education is, yes, I don't think AI is going to totally replace teachers, but I think that its power is going to make the teachers' work different from what it is today. And therefore, we need to be part of this great innovation. And that's why I really love this topic. And I hope you are having a great time, having good speakers who are speaking to the importance of us disrupting everything that we know now. We have no choice. It's not a question of I don't like technology. It's still going to rule your life. I don't like AI. I don't use ChatGPT. I don't use Bing or whatever it's called. I don't. I just like my life as it is. Well, whether you like it or not, the way you work is going to be so different that if you are out of it, you are a dinosaur, effectively. So we have to disrupt our education. And while, honestly, nobody can tell, even now, from everything I've read, how much disruption there's going to be, who is going to disrupt what, and how is it going to significantly affect education, nobody can tell where it's going to end. But we know that for now, it can totally change the way teachers teach. A single teacher can teach millions of students. And we know that just deploying the power of technology, a single teacher using the power of technology can go into class and using that AI, understand the mood of the children, understand how much they've learned, understand how anxious or how interested they are in the topic, understand that, even who they are and the kind of way they like to learn. And therefore, he can tailor his class to meet their specific and unique and peculiar learning needs. So it's a remarkable instrument, and I want to strongly suggest that we all learn about it. At this moment, I cannot say what it will do, but what I know it will do is it will disrupt what we are learning, it will disrupt how we are teaching, how we are learning, how we assess that learning has taken place. How do we know that things like WAEC and so on will even exist, or there'll be any need for them? Since there are what you call summative exams at the end of a period, why don't we think that formative assessment can take over? Where as you are teaching, as you are being taught, you are learning, and people are assessing how much you learn, how much you've absorbed, how much you know. So I'm very excited about this topic of disruption. I'm very excited, and I love to be part of it. And therefore, and I thank the organizers for inviting me. And I'm really sorry that it took this time and I was not able to log on. I'm actually traveling. I'm on the road and I parked because I need to talk. I need to talk at this time. So I need to tell you again and to repeat the message. The impact on our youth is going to be tremendous. Young people, you have to learn. You have to be part of this revolution. How can you not be? Even I, at my age, I'm part of it. I'm excited about it. I learn about it. I read about it all the time. I try and see how it will impact my own practice. Not to talk of you that it's going to affect much more than me, since I'm not likely to be part of the revolution that is coming in the significant disruption of AI. So there's a growing skills gap, certainly, and we need to hold our educational system accountable in building the gaps, the skills. You see, the skills you need for AI are not necessarily technology skills. They are flexibility, open-mindedness, creativity, critical thinking, a willingness to solve problems. Because as they say in the workplace now, nobody cares about your certificates. What they care about is who are you and how can you change things. What problem do you want to solve if I employ you to come and work in my organization? I hope that's food for thought for all of you. And so, even while we are asking the educational system to be disrupted, you disrupt yourself as well and try and learn these skills. They're all available on various fora. Read widely, go for courses, learn a lot of things. I still learn. I'm still in school. I'm still learning. I'm still getting certifications. So I encourage all of us to keep learning, keep growing, keep disrupting, and you then will be a citizen of the 21st century who can cope with the exigencies of this century. Thank you very much for inviting me in, and have great deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Really appreciate for your time. Let's free you. I know we are going to have you very soon in LASU, which will be a live event and be a great event also in October. Okay. We'll be sending our invites earlier so we can know your
great.
days. Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank
Take
you for
care.
coming.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be having another section, which is a panel section very soon. She said we should give her 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, what can we do? What can we suggest? What can we play? What can we? So, what have you learned so far from these two speakers? You can drop a note, and we are going to see it over hand here. You can actually drop a note for us. We will see it in our private chat here. Thank you. Let's continue what we are looking at. Let's how to play something. Let's continue our 20 business.
Top 20 Best Small Business Ideas for Beginners. Starting a small business can be frightening and requires plenty of careful planning. There are many small business ideas which can be beneficial as well as economical. The last thing a new entrepreneur or new business needs is to be found in a financial state due to unnecessary spending. When starting a small business, the key is to remember it is small, and initially the intention should be to limit spending until a profit is made. So, let's get started with top 20 best small business ideas for beginners. 1. Yoga center and help people to be healthy and fit. 2. Start catering business for providing foods on special functions, events, and parties. 3. Travel agency. People often travel to different destinations. Travel is a business which is never going to stop, so start a travel agency. 4. Fast food shop and provide quality food. 5. Start chocolate cafes. We all love chocolate and just can't resist it. You can eat your profits all the way to the bank with this enterprise. 6. Fitness programs by running fitness courses. 7. One-product restaurants. This capitalizes on one specific type of food and all you can do with it. Sounds crazy, but it makes many millions. 8. Hosted security provider. Get paid to keep other people's websites free from hackers, spyware, trojans, worms, and viruses. 9. Data backup. Help others to back up all their data so they can retrieve it later if need be. 10. Surveillance camera. These are a hot item these days to be selling. With all the crazy people out there, today every business can use one. 11. Start a massage business. 12. Home improvement and handyman services. 13. Children's educational programs and services. 14. Software products and application development. 15. Consulting services. This is another one of the top business ideas. If you already have work experience, this is a great area where you can start your business. If you have knowledge of other firms unrelated to yours, you can expand your consulting services and even learn from each. That way, you can cash in more. 16. Selling car and machinery spare parts. 17. Professional car washing business. This can be a good business if you choose big cities and towns where you will be able to find a number of good cars. 18. Internet connection provider service. You can provide fast internet connection at affordable monthly rates and manage it well enough to make tons of money. 19. Start a furniture business by hiring a carpenter. 20. Pure water production and sell as sachet, bagged, or bottled water. The internet is a great resource for small business ideas. Thousands of people have great ideas for a business venture but require assistance getting the ball rolling. Fortunately, there is plenty of help available for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. There are government websites that contain valuable small business ideas. So check out and get more business ideas. Also, share your own business ideas below in the comment box.
Today, the term innovation is almost exclusively used in a business context. It's usually characterized as being something entirely novel, technology-based, and causing positive impact on the world. But innovation is a much broader concept than that and can come in many different forms. So, what exactly is innovation? The term innovation was popularized in the late 19th century by French sociologist Gabriel Tarde as novelty, but with no explicit definition. Victor Thomson in 1965 defined innovation as the generation, acceptance, and implementation of new ideas, processes, products, or services. In simple words, innovation is concerned with the creation and pursuit of new ideas, but new ideas don't have to come from nowhere. Many innovations are actually imitations of nature. Biomimicry has led to some of the world's greatest technological innovations, from Velcro tape based on burr fruits to bullet trains modeled after the kingfisher beak. Replication has always been a part of innovation. Technological developments like the internet, e-commerce, and computers have shaped the discussion around innovation and in a way dominated it. But the scope of innovation goes beyond tech-based products or services. It can also come in the form of an ideology. The ideology that brought freedom to an entire nation and led to its independence was ahimsa, which simply means non-violence in Sanskrit. Mahatma Gandhi used the principle of ahimsa to inspire millions of people across the nation to rebel against the British, which ultimately won India its freedom. Ahimsa was a radically different way to achieve large-scale political and social change. Innovation can therefore also be a way of thinking, or a way of doing things differently while still achieving your goals. One of the many reasons that innovation is widely encouraged and sought after is that it's believed to bring positive change. But sometimes, innovation has unintended consequences. Recent developments in automation, for example, have caused massive disruption in the labor market. And even seemingly harmless services like Airbnb have had a negative impact on the affordability of housing for millions of people. This highlights the fact that even well-intentioned innovations don't necessarily always lead to entirely positive results. Innovation is a broad concept that extends beyond its commonly understood definition and scope. However, some things are constant. Innovation requires you to think and perceive things differently from others. Being more innovative starts with a creative mindset. Harvard professor Teresa Amabile developed a framework that implies that creativity arises through the merging of knowledge, critical thinking, and motivation. With these basic ingredients, it doesn't matter if the context is business, technology, or society. If the idea is wholly new, or even if the result is ultimately positive, innovation can exist in many different forms. Let's recap. Innovation does not always have to be completely novel. Technology based on biomimicry is also innovation. Innovation does not always have to be product or service based. It can also be an ideology, like that of Ahimsa that helped India win its freedom. Innovation can sometimes have unintended negative consequences, like the loss of jobs due to AI and Airbnb affecting affordability of housing for millions of people.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So we have our panel section. Now we have Mr. Malika. We have Mr. Malika on board. Welcome, sir. Good morning or good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Yes, so we have Miss Esther. Hello, Miss Esther. Can you unmute yourself? Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon. Good
Okay. So,
afternoon,
Miss
Mr.
Esther, we'll be
Malik.
taking your section today, or your panel section, and your questions today. Thank you for joining. Sorry, Miss Esther, can you continue? Can you take out the floor?
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Malik.
Hi, good
It's
afternoon.
such a delight to have you here with us. But before I go forward, I would love to read your citation for as many that are joining us here to know who our speaker is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. A genius of true innovation, a creative visionary whose work transcends traditional boundaries and challenges the status quo. It is with immense pride that I introduce to you a world-renowned artist, film director, and creative technologist whose storytelling prowess and groundbreaking use of artificial intelligence are reshaping the narrative around inclusive and representation. Our esteemed speaker, Mr. Malik Afegwa, is the brilliant mind behind some of the most stunning and thought-provoking pieces of visual AI art ever seen. And as the CEO of Slick City, Mr. Malik harnesses the power of technology to breathe new life into his artistic visions, creating works that not only dazzle the eye but also spark meaningful conversations about societal norms and stereotypes. So today we have the privilege of hearing from a man whose work is not just an art, but a powerful statement of empowerment and change. Please join me in welcoming the extraordinary talent, Mr. Malik Afegbu. I hope I'm right with the name. So it's
Yes,
such
you're
a
correct.
delight to have you here, sir.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, sir. So we'll be starting. Okay. So, Mr. Malik, I'd love to ask you a question that many youths have been have in their hearts now about storytelling and its impact in education and um, its impact in innovation and the likes of that. So, Mr. Malik, I would love to ask, how can storytelling be employed to tackle social and economic challenges faced by African youths, empowering them to thrive in a rapid evolving world?
Okay. It's a good question. So basically, storytelling shapes the world. Storytelling has always shaped the world. If you look at everything that happens today, from pop culture to technology to the advancement of fashion, telecoms, everything has been one way or the other told in a story, either it's via visual media or book or art or something, but it's been kind of depicted. So, and if you look at Hollywood, Hollywood have always been intentional with the kind of stories they tell, and that means that everything that's gone through from the inception of Hollywood up until today has been intentional with the kinds of topics or the kinds of messages or the trends they're trying to portray or make people follow. So that is why I keep telling creatives today that the kinds of stories that you tell would reflect in the community that you stay. It might not be immediate, but in the nearest future it will. And that's why we have to always be intentional about stories. So if you look at our history as Africans first, as Nigerians, second, or generally as Black people, we have this history of what the media portrays as, yes, started from slavery, or we from this space that we were not very educated or all this kind of thing, which is a false narrative. But because of the fact that it's been on the mass media and all of these, many people have their mindset fixated on those kind of things, and that always influences your decision making. It always influences the way you do things and the kinds of things you want to approach. But if we were intentional about our stories, and our storytelling, we would have this shape or be able to shape future generations of how to guide them on what to do. Because most of the guidance that we have are even from the Western, storytelling side. So being intentional about that is something that would help shape that narrative properly.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Malik.
Sorry, before we continue,
Okay,
now we
another
have.
question for you.
Sorry, before we continue, sorry, please. We have Mrs. Olukemi Ogunsaki here. She's also part of the comment section, and she'll be taking also be taking. Sorry, have the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tosin. Good afternoon, Ms. Olukemi. Good afternoon, Ms. Olukemi. Are you with us, ma'am? So I'd love to read citation
Hi, good
of
afternoon.
good afternoon, ma'am. So I'd love to read your citation for our attendees that are with us so they can know our speakers well. I don't know if you don't mind. So Ms. Olukemi Ogunsaki is a distinguished
Right.
professional whose multifaceted expertise and unwavering dedication have left an indelible mark on the fields of business operations and support functions. Our speaker today is a luminary with over 13 years of rich and varied experiences spanning across corporate affairs, sustainability, corporate communications, and corporate social responsibility within the dynamic realms of the telecommunications and FMCG sectors. With a passion for capacity building, our speaker has not only excelled in her professional endeavors, but has also dedicated herself to empowering others, and her initiatives have transformed communities, uplifted countless individuals, and set new benchmarks for corporate social responsibility and sustainability. And so today we are honored to hear from a visionary whose insight and experiences promises to inspire and enlighten us. So can we welcome a leader, a mentor, and a true advocate for positive change, Ms. Olukemi Ogunsaki. Okay, ma, before you join the
Thank you
call,
very
yes, ma'am. So before you join the call, we had conversations about storytelling, in which Mr. Malik has taken us through the significance of storytelling in this age and how it has made impact in our educational experiences as African youth, and how it is also empowering youths in this rapid evolving world. So, Miss Olukemi, I would love to ask you some questions that has been in the mind of many youths, and I'll start with what impact do youth-led initiatives have on advancing renewable energy and sustainable development?
Okay, thank you very much. I think that before we go into that question, we should not just assume that everyone understands what sustainable energy is, or renewable energy, or sustainable development. So, as a way of background, I'll just quickly just gloss over it, right, before we go into this question that you asked. So, renewable energy is energy that is derived from natural processes that can be continuously replenished. I know that we know some of them. The very popular one in Nigeria today is solar energy, where you get energy or power from sun. There are other kinds of renewable energy that we're not very familiar with. Some people use wind to generate power. So you have the wind energy, you have hydropower, where you generate power from water. There's biomass, there's ocean energy, and all of those things. So energy just um, produces little to no greenhouse gas. So it means that when you use renewable energy, it can be renewed. It's not unlike fossil fuels that we use. So petrol, diesel, when you use it, remember that we're getting them from the ground. And when we keep taking, someday it will. But then when you get power from sources like the sun, like water, they are unlimited. And that's right. Using enough for the next generation to also be able to better their own lives. So now I'll come to the question that you asked about play, right, in advancing renewable energy. I'll also start by saying that if the youths are not playing in this space, then we're in big problem, right? Because young people in Nigeria are over 70% of the population. So the youths have huge role, a very pivotal role to play in advancing renewable energy and sustainable development. And how do they do this? Is by driving innovation, increasing community engagement, advocating for policy change, and fostering business or entrepreneurial activities. And that's why I'm glad for this event, and events like this where young people can come together and talk about what exactly are we doing? What are we supposed to be focusing on? So youth-led initiatives in this area, of course, you know that young people have fresh perspectives, so they can always bring new ideas and innovations. Now imagine that 70% of the population is they are young people, right? If 20% of this population of young people are focused on addressing complex challenges in renewable energy and sustainability, and they are bringing these fresh perspectives, their new ideas and innovative solutions, it would help us a lot. Also, young people are tech savvy, right? This generation, they are digital natives, unlike some of us that we had to learn how to use phones. We had to go to actual computer schools, right? This generation were born into it. So you're already digital natives, and then you can leverage technology, social media, apps, and whatever digital platform to create and promote sustainable solutions. There's also the grassroots engagement, because huge number, right? You are involved in community involvement. You can work closely with local communities, raise awareness about the importance. So I think that that's actually even critical. A lot of people in Nigeria, we use solar just because NEPA is unreliable. We do not actually pay attention to the environmental impact that it actually does. It means that we're using energy that is renewable every day. So when youth come together and they have all of this community involvement, they can advocate, they can raise awareness, right, of the importance. They can effectively mobilize community members, foster a culture of sustainability at grassroots levels, educate their peers, right, which are again a huge number, educate their peers and broader community. So I feel like if young people come together and you're educating one another about renewable energy, sustainability, it just creates a ripple effect. Every young person has a family member, right? You have a sibling, you have a parent, you have somebody that you can talk to. So it just creates that ripple effect that promotes broader societal change. and sustainability that we really want to see. Another youth-led initiative can be advocacy activism, and that is talking about policy influence, right? You can influence public discourse like we are doing today, influence policy making around climate action, around sustainability, and also get involved. I mean, there are lots of global networks that young people can connect with that can amplify the impact that they are making and create like a unified global call for action in renewable energy and sustainability. And we can talk about startups and innovation. We know that the youth, especially Nigerian youth, they are resilient, right? So many young entrepreneurs can establish startups and focus on renewable energy. Number one, because of the effect on the environment. Also, because of the economic benefits, there are sustainable business models that young people can go into, and also which now eventually leads to job creation. If you create a startup, of course, you begin to hire people, and then it just begins to flow on from there. I'll stop for now.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, talking about the benefits of empowering youth-led initiative. What do you have to say about empowering youth leaders in renewable energy and sustainable development? And how do you think empowering them can contribute to societal benefits?
So there's a saying that says empower you empower the youth and then you empower the nation, right? Build the youth, build the nation. If we empower youths and young people in renewable energy and sustainable development, we are going to be offering numerous benefits to the society. And these benefits are going to eventually lead to empowerment that will have positive impacts, right? In ensuring a sustainable future. Young people today are the leaders of tomorrow, right? They are the parents of tomorrow. So when we are able to commit this empowerment into their hand today, right? They're the future custodians of our planet. Then we can ensure that we have a sustained commitment to renewable energy and sustainable practices for years to come. Also, young people who are passionate about combating climate change, their engagement would ensure that you have continuous effort to reduce carbon footprints and promote eco-friendly initiatives. So again, today they are empowered, they can take on these initiatives. When they grow and become leaders, obviously it's already a part of their lives. So it's sustainable, and then they can also pass them on to their own to the generation after them, right? So it's just a long-term commitment. You also have the entrepreneurial ventures where youth-led startups in renewable energy sectors, they can drive economic growth by creating new business opportunities and jobs. I already spoke about that. They can introduce innovative products and services that address current sustainability challenges. We also have inclusivity approach, right? The youth, they often prioritize inclusive and equitable solutions. So this generation is a bit different from the other generations that were just focused on me and my own people. I like to believe that the young people can introduce inclusive approaches that will benefit the benefits of renewable energy and sustainable development, which will not be marginalized, and then we will actually get to underserved communities who actually need it. Um, Also, empowered youth can effectively mobilize and engage their peers and communities, and then they can now together foster a sense of responsibility towards sustainability. There's also the knowledge dissemination. I feel like young people are more likely to listen to their peer who is knowledgeable and is a subject matter expert in a certain area, right? So young leaders will play a crucial role in educating their peers and communities about the importance of renewable energy and the sustainable practices. And this will always spiral and lead to even greater awareness and more informed decision making. One major issue that sustainability professionals battle with is the issue of behavioral change. So a lot of people are used to doing things the way they are used to doing them. Talk about waste management, talk about power, energy saving power, right? As simple as stepping out of your room and turning off the light. A lot of people are used to doing things that the way they know how to do it. So when you empower young people, I believe that you can promote sustainable lifestyle and practices, and they can drive significant behavioral change within their own home, within their peers, within their communities, which will eventually contribute to broader societal shifts towards sustainability. I already talked about influencing policy when you asked the last question. Also, young leaders are more likely to embrace and adapt to new challenges and opportunity. So when empowered, you can ensure that renewable energy and sustainability initiatives will remain dynamic and responsive to changing circumstances, because we know that things change every day, right? We are evolving as a people, as a nation, even the environment, even though it is as a result of years and years of using without thinking about the future or thinking sustainability, the young people can remain dynamic and responsive, right? So it is good that when they are empowered, especially in renewable energy and sustainable development, it offers substantial benefits for the society, including a sustainable future, which is what we want to see, and also driving economic growth and innovation. It also, promotes um, inclusivity, social equity, diversity, and enhance education and awareness. The empowered young people can also influence policy and build resilience. So by investing in empowerment of young leaders, the society can harness their energy, creativity, and commitment to a more sustainable and equitable world and future.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was very educative. So, Mr. Malik, so this question goes to you, sir. So, how do you think digital storytelling platforms and technology can be leveraged to enrich educational experiences for African youth, providing them with the tools to unlock their limitless potential?
You say how can digital tools be used to leverage?
Yes, yeah, digital storytelling platforms and technology.
So it's the problem that we always have is we don't do a lot of research and we don't experiment enough. And we always wait for someone to show us what to do, which is I feel like we need to step out of. So every tool that could be accessed, could be used for change, for storytelling, is all accessible, is all free, online, offline. You could find it, you could use it, you could even make money from it as well. But if you don't know where to find them, or that they're actually there, you don't even know what to do. But that is one thing. And yes, we understand that maybe today the government are starting to look at innovative technologies like AI and the likes. But it takes the individual as well to synthesize it oneself, to understand that there's a role I play in this community, there's a role I play, in my immediate, sector, to try to create some kind of change. And for that change to be created, you need to empower yourself. And how can you empower yourself? You need to look at what's the the next few years will be like in terms of communication, what the next 9 months, 10 months will be like in terms of how people will communicate, how people would assimilate, or even create content. And that will determine your approach to these technologies or your approach to whatever tools that you're using. But everything is open source, everything is accessible. The barrier to entry is very low now. If you have a smartphone, you could literally do everything on your smartphone. You don't need a massive computer to do it like before. Yes, there are tools that are paid for. Yes, there are tools that are, for even for more professionals, but you will get there, but you can't just get there once. You have to grow into it. So I'd advise, first of all, is research onto, because it's a very massive industry and you don't want to overwhelm yourself with information and not get confused on what to do. So do your research on the basic things, then that way you can now start approaching them one by one, or targeting certain technological tools to solve problems in your field, or just even learning about them. But basically, the barriers to entry very low, and YouTube is your friend. If you're confused about anything today, people don't read as much books as they used to. They're very visual people, and thankfully, everything you're looking for is on YouTube. There's always a tutorial here or there on how to even start on a very basic level, and from there, start to train yourself. So it's a very key thing. It's very crucial, and I feel like if we don't approach it, we'll be in trouble. So yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So I also like to ask, as the CEO of Sleep City, do you think there are other community-based storytelling initiatives?
So yeah.
As the CEO of Sleep City, do you think there are other community-based, or if there are there any community-based storytelling initiatives?
Yes, yes. There is one that I know of that I would employ people to either be a part of or try to be a part of. It's called the African No Filter um, Collective. What they do is they try to empower African narratives from the point of view to change the narrative from the biased misrepresentations to the correct kinds of data. Um, that they're doing a really good job, and they have access to funding, access to grants. Even if they don't give you themselves, they have a network of people that you can get money from to do projects in that. That is one that I know of. I don't think I know of any other one, but I don't think you should wait for that, because when you're doing the things you're supposed to do and you empower yourself to do them, somehow people will gravitate towards you, organizations will. And with that sense in mind, you can now start to actualize or create projects or solve problems. But if you're waiting for a collective or waiting for all of that, you might just keep waiting, but let's not forget where we are. Let's not forget that we have to work twice as hard to get things done. So that means you have to always be ready, personally. So even if you get to that community, are you ready? Are you in a space where, you're already doing things? But that being said, we're also trying to create communities together, like get people together to think, in a particular way that we're trying to solve problems for Africans, for Nigerians, based on all of that. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, sir. And this goes to Ms. Olukemi. Can you share with us successful examples of youth-led projects in renewable energy and sustainable development, and the key lessons we can draw from them?
Um, you asked for examples of
Youth-led
youth-led
projects in,
initiatives.
yes, ma'am.
Is that
In
correct?
renewable energy, yes, ma'am. In renewable
Oh,
energy
okay.
and sustainable development.
Okay. So in renewable energy and sustainable development, there are a couple of youth-led projects. Let me talk about the RESWAYE project. That's for sustainable development, not necessarily um, renewable energy, right? RESWAYE is like a group of young ladies who came together to use recycling to help girls and women, right? And what they do is bring these women together, bring them from the slummest of the slums, right? And give them the tools and help them to change or transfer their waste into wealth, right? And these women begin to earn a living from sustainable practices and transforming waste into wealth. There's also We Cyclers. We Cyclers was founded by Bilikis Adebiyi. She's a young lady, and it's a social enterprise. They provide recycling services as well. And while they have helped to reduce waste, which is the core of that initiative, right? They have also gone on to create jobs and most importantly, raise awareness about recycling, about waste management, and about sustainable development. If I'm thinking about renewable energy, there's a certain solar project in is Ladipo Community Solar Project, right? And if you read about it, it's a group of young engineers and environmentalists that came together. And what they did was they installed solar panels in Ladipo community in order to be able to provide reliable electricity to home and businesses. And the beauty about renewable energy is that you're trying to meet a need. So, for instance, for Ladipo community, it was them trying to provide reliable electricity, right? But at the other end, they were improving the quality of life of the residents and people around that community. They were also reducing the reliance of that entire community on fossil fuels, and they were promoting the use of renewable energy, right? So in this case of the Ladipo Community Solar Panel, you learn the importance of community engagement, right? Because obviously the community had to be involved from the planning stage to the buying to supporting, and also to make the project more sustainable, right? There would have had to be some sort of advocacy, some sort of education, because obviously you know that the initial cost of renewable energy is not very low, right? So you always have to help people to understand the this the that while the investment currently is huge, right? Subsequently, it is low in the long run, right? So there's also the part of the scalability where you can demonstrate success at a small scale and can attract additional funding. So with this project now, this group of young people, if they wanted to, expand, it is easy for them to demonstrate success in this small scale project, and also to get support for expansion. I believe that there are a number of other ones. There is Solar Kobo, founded by I think his name is Sheon, and provides affordable solar energies to households and businesses. So all of these businesses, right? It is they usually achieve more than one impact. So it is environmental, it is economic, right? It is doing good, and that is the entire purpose of sustainability, right? You're reducing energy costs, so you're of course increasing your buying power. You have more money in your pocket since you're not paying as much for energy. You're increasing energy reliability, because if you're getting power from, for instance, say you're using solar energy, every day the sun comes out, you're sure that you're going to have power, right? And also you're promoting the use of clean energy. You're promoting the reduction or the reliance, like we see today, on fossil energy. So this project address clear market needs, right? That can be expanded, that can grow more than what it is currently doing, that can also help other young people to see the potential in sustainability, in sustainable development, and in the renewable energy space.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. This question is to Mr. Malik.
I hope you
What?
heard me.
Yes, Ma. What are
Am I
some
audible?
successful examples of storytelling driving education program in Africa?
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. And what lessons can we learn from these?
Okay. Hi,
So
Malik.
can
Can you
you
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you.
you're
I can
muted,
hear
but I can
you.
see you speaking. So I
I
take
can
it.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Okay.
Ma.
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, I can. I think they're
Okay,
having. Yes, yes, yeah. I
great.
think they're having network
Yeah, we can hear
issues. I
you,
was I
sir.
was wondering
So
if
let me
anybody
recap.
could hear me.
Let me recap. Yes, Ma. Okay, let me recap the question from Mr. Malik.
Okay.
What are some What are some successful examples of storytelling driving education program in Africa, and what lesson can we learn from that?
I don't think I have an
Your last
example.
question, sir.
I don't think I have an example for that in terms of education, in terms of storytelling. So there's. Let me even answer that with a counter for that question. We don't tell the right stories in
So you
Africa.
can wrap it up. You can wrap it.
I
So you
agree.
can wrap it up. You can
Yes.
wrap it up with
Or
what
or we
you
don't
can
tell our stories
advise the
enough.
youth watching to do.
Yes.
I think it's both ways.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't tell our stories enough, and we don't tell the right stories. So, like for
Mm-hmm.
instance, if you look at other countries that grow economically, and we want to go there for holidays, have got good PR, but they also still have bad
Mm-hmm.
sides of the countries, but we just don't hear about them.
Yes.
It's always the focus on the good side for investment, for people to come, for tourism, and all that is intentional. But in
Mm-hmm.
on our side, we focus on the problems and we speak about the problems more, which is a problem as well. Then that will cause investors to want to leave. It's currently 1:30 p.m. Sorry, my alarm was. 23 degrees Celsius. Sorry, just give me 1 second. At high
Yeah.
of 24 degrees. Sorry, it's my alarm for the airport. Yes, as I was saying, so that means that if you go back to the past, go back to history and
Mm-hmm.
f- media, photography, for instance, started in West Africa not because of artistic reasons, but was for colonial reasons to show the exploit, the prowess. So that led to stock imagery. So you have biased images and stock imagery. When you're looking for African images, very stereotypical, very biased. Kids on the street and all of that. That has led to the AI softwares right now being trained on the wrong data sets of stock imagery or the wrong data set of Africans being suppressed. Today, even
Mm-hmm.
as of today, we have those wrong narrative and bias right there because we're not telling the right stories. And the problem about
Mm-hmm.
that as well right now is if we keep on doing this in the next 10 years, if we achieve AGI and we're in a space where everything is digital and AI has decision making, for instance, visas and all of that, we're still on the back burner. We're still going to
Mm-hmm.
be suppressed. So what are we doing about that? We need to be at the forefront of everything that's going on in technology, storytelling, economic, everything. Like we need to be at the forefront, not waiting for any Western country to do anything for us. But we
Mm-hmm.
don't always. We like to ask for permission. Like to wait. That can we? Do we have the power?
Mm-hmm.
But we do have the power to. It's just to change our mindset, our perspective,
Mm-hmm.
our goals, our reach. To what are we doing? How is the future? What would 50 years be like from now? The next
Mm-hmm.
generation. What are they? Why are they going to look back and see? Is it the
Yeah.
skits on Instagram or actual
Mm-hmm.
things that we need to substance and value that would empower them and really think about all of these things? And it starts
Yeah.
now, especially in the digital
Mm-hmm.
space. Today, to travel to different countries in Africa, we still need to get visas to do that. That's the problem, So, and all of these things matters because we're not owning our own stories. We're not telling our own stories. We're just focused on
Yeah.
problems. So problems will always be there. But when we have the right set of minds and the right PR and everything, we now see how to
Mm-hmm.
solve problems while we're driving the right storyline. And the right storyline leads to investment, tourism, everything. And when all of that
Mm-hmm.
happens, more money
Yeah.
and all that. So that's why I didn't have any example for that,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think that you made a critical point, and maybe if every nobody goes up with anything, just take it that don't wait for permission. Just do it, right? What's the worst
Exactly.
that could happen? It doesn't work,
Exactly.
and then you try something else. Because yeah, I
Exactly.
totally agree that most of the time we're waiting. Oh, can I do it? Is it okay? Can it work? What if it doesn't work, right? And
Exactly.
then we try something else, and I think that's the orientation that a lot of other countries have, so they are used
Yes.
to trying stuff, right? Climb. If you fall, yeah, you get up and climb again. We always want to get it right at the first goal, on the first step, which is usually not the case. So, yeah,
Exactly.
totally agree.
Exactly. And never seek validation. Just do things because you feel is
Mhm.
right. You feel you're trying to solve problems. And that way
And
you see.
that's tough in this, it's tough in this social media era because of course when you make a post you're looking for, oh, how many likes, how many comments, and all of that. So the seeking
Exactly.
for validation is kind of ingrained in this generation because like I said, they are digital natives, right? So they just have to be able to make a shift, right? Control your mind and make a shift from focusing on seeking for validation. Just, do what you have to do take learnings, find mentors, and then just do your thing.
Exactly. I
Okay.
totally agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Thank you very much,
I
sir.
think we've lost the DIA team, so it's now become our show. You need to go to the airport, I believe.
Oh yes,
Yes.
it's here. I
Man,
can see him.
Oh, okay. It's really just rolling
yeah,
from my end. Okay.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
ma,
It's good to meet you.
Kemi, your last question, ma. What lesson can we draw from this initiative?
Okay, Tosin, is this session over?
Yeah, your
Um,
last question, ma. Your
oh,
last
it was
question.
asking the
What
last
lesson?
question.
Yes, and your
I can't see her
and
anymore.
your word to the youth watching. Can you hear
Okay, maybe
me?
you should tell me. Let me ask her the question. I can see him.
Okay. What last what lesson can we draw from this initiative?
Okay, he's asking for what lesson can we draw from this initiative?
Oh, I mentioned them. So the lessons that I mentioned community engagement, which is critical to almost any business that anyone will go into. When I was talking about the Ladipo Community Solar Project, right? Like before you can go into that kind of project, you're going to have to get the buy-in of the community, right? And that will be from all cadres of the community, from the community leaders to the actual people who are going to be beneficiaries of this project. So there's the part of advocacy and education, of course, for you to do that kind of project. I mentioned that you have to educate people on the importance. I also mentioned that because it is um, capital intensive the first time to actually get energy, a renewable energy device, say for instance, solar panel, right? You need to be able to help people to understand that at the end of the day, they are going to get huge return on that investment, right? Because bringing out that kind of capital, especially where we are currently, right? In this country, the economic situation, you need to be able to convince people that the investment is worth it, right? So yeah, I talked about education, I talked about advocacy, I talked about community community engagement. There's also the part of entrepreneurship, right? Because these initiatives, right, kind of set these young people up for investments, for grants, because they can prove that they've been able to succeed in the little projects that they've engaged in, right? They have evidence, right? They can tell these stories, which can lead to them getting more investment and being able to scale the business in future.
Wow, wow.
So
Thank you
yeah.
so much, man. Thank you so much, sir, for this section. I really learned a lot, and the questions and the answer was totally okay for me. I know those people watching from YouTube also, we actually gain a lot. Thank you so much for this section. Thank you, Mr. Malik. Thank you,
Okay, that's good.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Olukemi. God bless you. Thank
All
you
right.
for being.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, man. Wow, it was a great section actually. This let's say this will be the end of driving a vegetable car. Thank you so much for joining the first section, the main speakers, the second keynote speakers, and these panel sections. We want to say a very big thank you for those people that joined earlier. God bless you all. Thank you so much. We'll be ending now and I have other events to handle. Thank you so much. Bye for now.